So this Harry Potter thing is pretty huge, huh? I stopped watching after they stopped featuring John Cleese. But it seems the world can't get enough of spunky kids running around an old, secret-laden school getting into misadventures and whatnot. Mana Khemia is a JRPG about spunky kids running around an old, secret-laden school getting into misadventures and whatnot. There may even be a protagonist with a mysterious background railroaded into attending the academy so as to realize his destiny. It's not exactly the same, but it's a good starting point to understand the narrative. Along the way, you'll recruit your standard cadre of off-the-wall party members, each with unique powers and benefits. Once you have some units in reserve, you can actually swap them into combat mid-attack and or mid-defense, lending a more tactical aspect to the Farakas. With time, the simple act of substitution will itself have effects on the battlefield. See that line of cards up there? That's a graphical representation of the chronology of the battle, much like Final Fantasy X offered. However, Mana Khemia improves the system by making it more interactive, allowing for recursive spells, time manipulation, and even the deletion of harmful cards from the order. And how do you learn all these neato tricks? Alchemy. That's what the school is there for, after all. In yet another similarity to Final Fantasy X, advancement comes via your Grow Book, a sphere grid-like chart of your alchemical accomplishments. Each item corresponds to a group of nodes which encompass stat upgrades, battle techniques, and passive traits. In lieu of conventional levels, all development happens within this system, so expect to spend plenty of time milking the alchemy mechanics for all they're worth. So what's so great about alchemy anyway? Well, in addition to being the primary growth metric, it's also the vector by which you'll assemble all the various weapons, armors, and support items throughout your quest. Everything you come across, from mushrooms to dirt, gears to goat's milk, can be combined into new items and equipment, which can then be further augmented with the right recipe or the occasional spark of genius. Sometimes you can go off the rails and come up with new items simply by fiddling with recipes, while your party members sometimes chime in with ideas after a successful synthesis. If you're familiar with the Atelier series, you'll recognize some of the concepts and items, though the actual mechanics here are a little more in-depth. The narrative structure is very much that of a school. You have a few required assignments per chapter, which serve mostly as tutorials to welcome new game mechanics. Outside of that are free time segments, which allow you to do some quick quests for cash and prizes, and spend time with your party members by participating in dating sim-esque vignettes, which ultimately affect the ending you see. Each term is bookended by event segments, which move the plot along and provide the bulk of the challenge, and challenge there is in spades. The difficulty curve is steep, especially in the beginning. If you're not on top of your syntheses, you'll be missing a large chunk of potential HP, making regular encounters painful and bosses downright vicious. Fortunately, you can avoid and evade monsters on the overworld map until night falls and they double in speed and viciousness. If you're going to get trounced, though, you'll be trounced in style. The soundtrack, included with a special edition of the PS2 version, is a whirlwind tour, touching every bass where appropriate, and just rocking out the rest. Mana Khemia hit back in 2008, back when JRPG wasn't such a dirty word. Since then, times have changed, but if you still have a soft spot for cats who turn into swords, playing cards as a viable weapon class, or a claymore that shoots shuriken, you should track down a copy. Consider it homework. And spit out that gum.